During a recent live stream, Bungie talked about the future of the company, as well as the future of Destiny. And in that future, Bungie finally announced that they are embracing an identity for Destiny. An identity that I had hoped that they would embrace for a very long time. And that identity is that Destiny is an action
the first
MMO.
Part is being an awesome action MMO. And
Yeah, we've been worried about that term for a long time. You know, we've shied away from using
MMO.
that. Yeah, because it comes with a lot of baggage. It's like, does that mean it's a subscription game, or you got to play with a mouse and keyboard, or whatever? But like, man, you know, this is one of those things. We're on our own now, and it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck.
It was at this moment that it got me really, really excited about the future of Destiny. But not only did it get me excited, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about a lot of other great MMOs that I and many others love to play, which in turn got me thinking about why do we love to play these other great MMOs. Obviously, a great deal of it comes from the gameplay, something Destiny has in spades. I think we can all agree that no other first-person shooter feels as good as Destiny does. Whether it's shooting an alien in the head or hurling a giant ball of void energy at a towering boss, it just feels right. What I'm thinking about are those other great features that keep us logging in long before and long after those great threats that we face have been sent back into the far reaches of space. It's in these series of videos in which we'll be talking about those features. So sit back, relax, and grab a bowl of spicy ramen as we discuss. At the heart of every game, and especially an MMO, is its players and community. And what any Destiny player can tell you is that Destiny has one of the best communities in all of gaming. Every year, dozens of Destiny community members raise millions of dollars for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Community members make apps and websites to manage and transfer weapons and armors between characters, to track character progression, as well as to form groups to tackle in-game challenges. While community members make these because they love the game of Destiny and the community, they make these primarily because there's no way to do so inside the game, and that is what we're going to focus on in this episode. Before we can get into the nitty-gritty of topics like clan progression or factions, we must first start at the core of the game, the community. And what's at the heart of the community, you might ask? Communication. That's why the first topic we will be discussing will be in-game text chat. Now I know what you're asking yourself. Don't we already have this feature in the game? And while that is somewhat true, at the moment only PC players have this feature, while console players, which is a large majority of the population, don't have this essential feature. Why is in-game text chat an essential feature? Once again, communication, and having that communication in-game makes the world feel bigger and more alive. Imagine being a new player and being out on patrol in the EDZ for the first time, and you have a bounty to loot a particular lost sector, but you are having trouble locating said lost sector. Instead of firing up Google and beginning a search through a long list of results, you can instead simply type a message in-game asking fellow Guardians where the specific lost sector is, and having them answer back where to find it at is a lot more immersive of a game experience. Or better yet, instead of the other player answering back the location of the lost sector, they instead ask for an invite to a fire team so that they can show you the location of the lost sector, as well as help you with any other things you may need help with, and from there, friendships can be forged. All because someone had the ability to ask for help in-game, as opposed to going outside the game and using a search engine. In-game text chat also makes it easier for people who may suffer from social anxiety. It's a lot easier for someone to communicate via text than it would be for someone to join a voice chat with a bunch of random strangers. Text chat helps alleviate that fear or anxiety some people may have when it comes to talking with strangers, and in doing so, helps them enjoy the game even more. Another great feature other MMOs have associated with in-game text chat is the ability to link items into the text chat. Imagine getting a cool new exotic that you want your friend to check out, but you and your friend are in two different activities. Instead of your friend having to dig through menus and friends lists to inspect your character, you could simply link the item into the text chat so that your friend could easily click on and inspect the item. It's an amazing quality of life fix that everyone would love, all because of an in-game text chat feature. There are a great many benefits that adding an in-game text chat to the console version of the game would add. One being the ability to text chat with all clan members at once, making it easier to put groups together for individuals who want to play the same activities. Which also brings us to our next topic, an in-game LFG system. An LFG, or looking for group system, should be a no-brainer for any MMO. Yet here we are almost 5 years after the release of Destiny 1, and we still don't have an LFG in-game. You may be asking yourself, why do I need an LFG in-game when I can just open up an app on my phone and find a group? The short and simple answer is the community. If you have your community all using a centralized in-game LFG, you have a much bigger pool of groups to search from. Where if you have people using multiple LFG apps, your community is spread thinner, making it harder to find the right group for you. That being said, if there isn't enough options to use inside of the LFG system, it will still drive players back outside of the game to use other LFG apps. Here are some options I believe are essential to have inside an LFG. It needs to be simple, but have depth at the same time. What I mean by being simple would be having preset options. For example, if you just want to create a quick group for a Nightfall, you could open up the LFG and click on a Nightfall icon, and then being able to click the number of players you are looking for would have you up and looking for a group within seconds. But by also having depth to the same simple system, it would allow you to refine your LFG for the exact thing you are trying to accomplish. For example, say that you wanted to farm a specific Nightfall for a specific weapon. You could once again open up the LFG, click on the Nightfall icon, but this time you decide to also click on a drop-down menu that lists all the available Nightfall strikes, allowing you to select the exact Nightfall you wish to play. Once selected, you then decide to click on a set of pre-made criteria. Let's say that since you want to farm the strike for the weapon that you want, there would be an option that says multiple runs for the loot, but you also want to be able to communicate for fast runs, so you select the option that says must have mic. Next, having the option to not only select the amount of players you are looking for, but also the exact class or subclass you are looking for. Having this option would let you craft the perfect group you are looking for. Finally, having a small text box area to add any small details that aren't part of the pre-made criteria options, like Titan must use melting point or looking for Hunter to run tether, will let other players know that you are looking for players to use a certain play style. Having these options for all activities including raids, dungeons, crucible, gambit, flashpoints, lost sectors, quests, are in my opinion essential to an LFG system. LFG is also a great way to search for a static raid group or set up community run crucible or gambit tournaments. The possibilities are really endless. The last social feature that I would like to touch upon in this video is introducing a group or party display for the HUD, or as I'll be referring to it as, the Fireteam display. Getting more and more healer specific abilities as well as support weapons is nice, but not knowing when your teammates need help makes it more difficult to support them. But by adding a Fireteam display, it makes it much more manageable to play a support role. What I would like to see for a Fireteam display is to show the name of all your Fireteam members on the left hand side of the screen. Below to the left of the name, there should be an icon that represents which subclass your Fireteam member is playing. To the right of the subclass icon, there should be 2 meters. The first meter will represent how much shield and health your Fireteam member has, and the second meter would represent the Fireteam member's super meter. Having a Fireteam display would not only help support players, but it will also help team members coordinate attacks and strategies quicker and more efficient. Imagine being able to quickly glance to the side of the screen and being able to see how many Fireteam members are still alive during a raid encounter, or being able to see who has their super for clearing ads during the same encounter. Instead of having to communicate that information during a heated moment where your teammates are yelling over each other asking who has a super. Instead, everyone would be able to see who has a super, and then being able to tell them to use it to clear the ads so you can get the revive to continue the encounter. Fireteam display just feels like an essential feature when every activity in the game can be played in a group, especially when games like The Division, Warframe, and even Anthem already have this feature, which are games that are also direct competitors of Destiny. These are but a short list of features that I would love to see come to Destiny. It is also a list that I will continue to expand upon, as well as a conversation that I would love to continue. That's all I have for this episode. If you agree with this list of features, leave a like, along with a comment about which MMO features you would like to see come to Destiny. Also, hit the subscribe button if this is a conversation that you would like to continue having. And remember, until then, it is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves.